All right, welcome Senior Home Business family to first day of 2025. You got Brittany, you've got Matt. We come on live here every Wednesday, except for I think we missed last Wednesday because what was it? Was it Christmas Eve, or I don't know, something. I mean, Christmas kind of falls in line there. But hey, this is New Year's Day, and we're showing up. And the reason we're showing up because we really enjoy what we're doing. We're helping seniors at no cost, no obligation. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the business kind of throughout this video a little bit, but we're going to get into the main topic is seniors thriving in 2025. That is the key. And now all of us should thrive in 2025. We should all have some sort of purpose, goals, aspirations that we have, things that we want to achieve. I mean, Brittany and I were talking off camera, some of the things that we want to achieve. And I know you guys do as well. And don't put it in the category. If I can give you some advice, because I did this years ago, it's almost like January 1st, I'm just going to have all these goals. And those goals start to kind of fade, right? I mean, the statistics basically proves within 21 days, 80-90% of the people have just like fallen off the cliff and not even achieving their goals, right? This is going to be probably the most packed day at the gym today, January 1st. Everybody, well, I'm hitting it. That's a new day. It's a new year. And then somehow about January 21st, Brittany, the treadmills are all kind of way open. The benches are open and all that kind of stuff. But it's more than just the physicality of it all, but it's just your goals. But I want to get into what the seniors have and what we can do. And there's 10 areas I want us to discuss, Brittany. And I want to show a video too, so stay with us. There is a video of a senior party in Minneapolis, I believe. It's in Minnesota. I know it's in Minnesota yesterday. So I want to show you that. That's really cool. And then I want to show you a backdoor of we call it a senior home business platform. It's really on school. So I'm trying to take credit for something school has done, but it just kind of makes it sound better, right? But it's done on the school platform. I'll show you a little bit about what we got going on. Because Brittany, you've got next week the calendar for the senior placement students. Oh my God. I saw that calendar. I was like, man, I'm exhausted looking at the calendar. Boy, what do you got going on? It's like a hour power phone leads, and what else you got going on? Tell me a little bit.
Yeah. So early next week, we're doing a new student. We do it once a month. Everybody comes in the last 90 days that people have joined. We just talk about the basics of the business. That's a chance to ask me questions, help get them their first lead. We're just kind of talking bare bones there. And then let's see, Tuesday, we're doing a power hour. So we cold call for an hour together. They bring a list. We kind of talk in between it. We give each other motivation. There's a little competition about it. How many meetings can we book? So the goal is to book as many meetings as possible during that time. Doesn't matter if it's communities or, whatever that looks like, lead sources. Then Wednesday we have the live, and then Thursday we have another cold calling power hour, and we have roundtable where we collaborate. We're booked.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, I tell you what, if you want to see a little bit about that, that calendar and things we got going on, stay on this video. We'll show you a little bit later. I just don't want to knock down the video. I've already got preset because we're going to show the video in about 5 minutes. So stay on the channel. We're going to show you the video of some seniors celebrating the New Year's. And man, it's just such an enlightenment. So let's get into it. We're talking today, seniors thriving in 2025. And again, some of this will be applicable to you guys, okay, and myself. I mean, I don't consider myself a senior, even though Brittany, my wife, and I went out to breakfast a few weeks ago, and I saw on the senior menu, it said 55 and older. I was like, wait a minute, I'm 56. I actually get a discount. I didn't get a discount. I somehow, Brittany, I refuse to do that. Like, I'm never going to take a discount at a theater or restaurant. I don't know. It's something about, maybe it's a pride issue. Maybe I need counseling. Maybe I need to go and get delivered or something. But I just got, I'm not going to get that senior discount because it's like it puts me in a different category. But the cool thing about it is we need to realize where we are in life, right? Like even at 56, I got some limitations. We talked about gym earlier. And I mean, I was hitting it hard 2 years ago, and now I've got to kind of taper it off and kind of spread things out a little bit because joint pain and everything else kind of comes into play. But you learn to deal with it. But how can seniors thrive in 2025? And since we're talking about going to the gym and things like that, I think number one, prioritize physical activity. Now that's going to be different for everybody, right? I mean, Brittany, we all know some seniors that can go to the gym, go to water aerobics, maybe at a community. They're able to safely get on a treadmill if it's an independent community. There's other sit down kind of cycle machines they can get on, go for a walk if you're able to. Talk to us, Brittany. What's the importance of the physical activity of a senior, and maybe what are some small things they can do, especially if they cannot get around as much? They're not as mobile.
Yeah. I think the main thing is if you don't use it, you lose it. That's the thing that this industry says a lot about seniors, just keeping active. If you don't continue to move your muscles, use all of your limbs, all of these things, eventually you lose the ability to do those things. Probably even with you going to the gym 2 years ago to now, do you see a difference when you go now?
My push-ups have gone from 35 to about 25 now. I'm like, I was like, oh, I get tired anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you start to lose
you're aging. So, at that point, your joints, all the things, you're just they decline. That's just life. So really important to use those muscles. And then also, I think a really cool thing in communities, but even if you're at home, the seated exercises, like just lifting your legs up and down, all these, YouTube is a great place to find them, but there's so many seated exercises. Or at the communities, I love they call it, the drumsticks on the big yoga balls. Have you seen that stuff like that? Or
seated,
like
cool.
balloons, you're really using your muscles in ways that you might not always be doing that just sitting in front of the TV. So I think seated exercises, there's even the news. I actually watched the news the other day, which I usually don't do that, but they had basically a physical therapist on there talking about ways to use your muscles sitting in front of the TV. They brought up one of those little foot bikes that you have under your desk or at the TV. So just ways to really little movements, but getting them active.
Yeah. My wife brought this machine off TikTok. I don't know what it is, but it vibrates.
Yep.
So you're able to stand on it. You're able to get down on your knees and put your hands on it. I've used that a couple of times, man. That thing, when you get on, you're like, you try that for 10 minutes, man. It's supposed to help out with joint pain and stuff like that. So we're going to see, Brittany. I don't know. So, but yeah, she got that little thing. So that stays in one of our rooms, and I used it the other day, and I feel like, man, you definitely, in my opinion, with that machine, you cannot watch TV. I don't know, because I have a hard time watching TV doing this. I mean, it just makes me dizzy. So anyway, all right. So prioritize physical activity. And then another kind of goes, again, this is across the board. Some of this is going to be more specific to seniors as we get down the line. We got 10 of them today. And stay with us, because I'm telling you, my favorite is number 10. I didn't do that on purpose, but I kind of looked at all of them. Now, obviously, you want to be physically active and adopt a balanced diet. I mean, that's crucial. And I think that's really one of the benefits, Brittany, of a good assisted living community, memory care, independent. They really strive for that, a good, well-balanced diet. I've seen in my own personal family over the years, distant relatives and others that are closer, that when they get older and they're living by themselves, it seems like the food is just not as important. And it's like they just grab anything and everything. It just could be, just go grab a bag of potato chips, or just go grab something out of the fridge. And it may not be the best, and I'm not here to judge what's best, but I mean, obviously we all know what kind of qualities of food we need to intake into our body to make sure we get nourishment and strength and energy and all that. So, but I've seen that in my own personal family. And again, a lot of them are more distant relatives, but when they're at home and they don't have necessarily someone taking care of them on a regular basis, that one area gets overlooked. What are some areas, because I know in the assisted living communities, they're well taken care of. Let's say aging in place for this situation. What are some things that families can do to help their loved one to make sure they have the proper diet?
There's a lot of different ways. So I would say, one, I have a lot of families that actually cook and bring food over to their loved ones quite often. Like they would cook dinner, bring it over, put it in their fridge if they need to. I know that's not feasible for many families that are, raising kids still, and they have their parents. So totally get that. Taking them grocery shopping once a week to get more things besides the typical chips and cookies and, things that they love to grab, because you're correct on that. That's typically what they do. They just grab easy things. It's easier. Another way is to do like the food delivery. So there are actually a couple of the meal prep companies that are aiming towards seniors. They have a dietitian. They can get them delivered to the door and they can essentially just pick up their meals, put them in the microwave. There's no meal prep. It's not like HelloFresh where you have to cook everything, but that's a cool way. If financially they can't do that, though, Meals on Wheels, almost every county has it. I think in California, you guys have a similar program as well. If they qualify, I have a lot of seniors that use that. That's hot meals, usually twice a day to 3 times a day. They're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner sometimes, or maybe just dinner, but that can offset some of this. But again, family, meal delivery services, and even your local senior centers, you can talk to them, or your local state for things like Meals on Wheels.
That's awesome. Yeah. So proper diet, and just make sure, because that, not to reiterate everything we just said, but it's just unpack it. We have to make sure that each individual that's in our sphere of influence, I mean, we kind of oversee them a little bit, right? I mean, not just seniors, I mean, kids, and, my wife will oversee me, make sure I'm eating right. Just, kind of be aware. We need to be aware of what our seniors are putting in their bodies. And then also number 3, stay socially connected. Again, easier concept when you're in a community. And so just a plug for communities. That's one of the advantages of seniors being in a vibrant community. They will be connected socially. There's a lot of opportunities. Now, when you're aging in place and it's just you, or, not too many people on the block that are older individuals, or you can't get out as much of your home, that is a challenge. And so loved ones, people that are caring for elderly, please make sure they stay socially connected. Just think of yourself. If you have a hard time thinking about this, just think about yourself. Like, here I am, Matt, 56 years of age. Let's say I have no friends. Let's say I got nobody that, I talk to on a regular basis. I've got nobody that will come over my house and watch a game with me or anything like that. I mean, that would be a horrible thing, right? So what are some things, Brittany, that we can do with people that are aging in place, or let's say a senior that they're home primarily alone for most of the day? What are some things we can do to engage that activity?
Yeah, visiting them, obviously, grandkids, things like that, go over and chat with them. I think senior centers I have found have been really good. I don't know if every state has them like some other states do, but some even provide transportation. They come do their round almost like a bus, almost like you're going to school, and they take them to the senior center. They have outings. They do all kinds of fun things. They play bingo, they do games. So those are really neat. I know the local libraries too. They hold like chats and coffee chats and all these things for seniors. Even getting on things like Facebook and searching like seniors in your county. They meet up. We just moved to a new little town, in my opinion, they go to the local breakfast restaurant every Wednesday. So the local seniors go and they just chat. It's nothing, strenuous. They just kind of all hang out. But finding like your local community, what can they do to get involved in? If they do have neighbors, maybe try to introduce them to some. Sometimes they don't have to be their age. They can maybe be even like young kids that go hang out with the seniors.
That's right.
I think just looking in like your community, making sure you as a family are going over there and find out what they like. Things do change as you age. Like, would they like to go to the senior center to do bingo? Would that be like, no way? Would they rather just go chat with somebody? So I think also finding out what your loved ones actually are wanting to do. Me and you probably have experience. They'll say, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit in front of the TV. So, there's ways to really engage with them and see what they would enjoy doing to be able to give them that social interaction. It's huge. I think, again, plug for communities. That's probably why a lot of my clients have thrived in communities, is just having somebody to talk to, even if it's just sitting at a dining room and a table and talking to them, not necessarily bingo and, water aerobics, but there's just so much benefit to that. So getting them out of their comfort zone a little bit, maybe introducing them to new people, it's really, really beneficial.
Absolutely. That's a nice segue into our video, guys. I want to show you a video of a celebration yesterday. These seniors actually did the countdown, I believe, at 1 p.m., which I think is really, really cool. It provided a place of safety for them, and they validated them to the event. I believe at least part of them got there that way. It's warms your heart. It really does. You watch a short video, and Brittany, it warmed my heart so much. I'm thinking about doing this year in my area, and maybe get to the place where we do multiple events throughout the year, where we just have events for seniors. I know the independent communities, they do their best to do this kind of thing. But I'm talking about just all community wide. Can you imagine having a major senior event? And so anyway, let's get into the video if you guys don't mind. I want to show you this and see what you guys think of this right here.
Well, New Year's Eve came at the right time for a couple of hundred Minnesota seniors.
The holiday can be hard for some older folks, either because they have lost people in their lives or they just can't make it to midnight. I agree as well. I can relate to that one. But our Corin Hoggard found a perfect countdown up in Canadian County.
I fell asleep twice.
The first sign that something's different in Graston may be the valet parking.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
The guests of honor at this New Year's Eve party are seniors, more than 200 of them in a city with a population of 154.
That is wonderful, you guys.
Group photos coax crews into a corner on a day when a lot of seniors might otherwise find themselves in a group of one.
I was alone, and so is she, and we're all alone.
They deserve the best. Pastor Gene started this December 31st tradition in 2014. Aiming to give seniors a first-class experience.
And if we're going to have them come out for lunch, let's really do something that they haven't experienced. And some of them walked into the door one time and said, "I have never been anywhere this nice."
Happy New Year.
Carving the turkey, crafting the salad, and filling coffee cups is the work of almost 60 volunteers. On fancy china, they served lunch and a cup of kindness. And a big helping of bluegrass filled the sanctuary. The band may be figuring it out, but the lunch guests knew exactly how to say goodbye to 2024.
7, 6.
The countdown to 2025 hit zero right on time at 1 p.m.
Why 1 p.m.? It's midnight somewhere.
Yeah, it's midnight in Pakistan and a French settlement of about 45 people in Antarctica, but it's also a perfect time for seniors here in Minnesota to celebrate.
And then we're done. We can go home and we don't have to be with the party animals.
But they did party, and they smiled and laughed, and instead of thinking about loved ones lost, they spent their New Year's Eve among a community they may not notice every day of the year.
I didn't know what to expect, but it was fantastic.
You see, you're not alone. and you see all this beauty and friendship and love.
Lots of love, laughter, and joy to all. Happy New Year from Graston, Corin Hoggard.
Does that warm your heart or what, Brittany? I mean, that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so awesome. So yeah, just New Year's. But let's get into it again. Number 4 is try something new. And again, this applies to everybody, but I think with seniors too, because what I've seen in my experience with seniors, whether working in a large community or whether my placement business and own family members, things like that, is they kind of get just almost afraid to try anything new, and it becomes routine, in terms of what they're doing. Give an example, like my dad, for instance. I'll pick on him a little bit, but my dad is an avid reader, and I didn't become a reader until about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Prior to that, I was like, man, reading a book, it was like, just give me the movie, or let's talk about it, or someone give me the Cliff Notes or something. But he reads all the time, and so he does that. But he's scared to death of a computer. And even though mom can get around on Facebook and different things, my dad can't. And I've tried to tell him a couple things, and it's just, I just know that the wall just goes up, because it's like, it's unfamiliar to him, right? And he's probably not real confident, obviously, to get on. So it's just trying something new. But what are some of the importance behind that? Just how can it benefit a senior if they do try something new?
Getting out of there, no different than us. You get out of your comfort zone. You might find something you really like. I'll give an example. I had a gentleman. He's moving Thursday, actually. So I had a gentleman.
When are you moving to that this month? That's what I want to know.
I actually ask me tomorrow. I don't. Oh, you mean December? How many did I do?
Just December. That's all I want to know.
Sorry, I'm like, I don't know yet. I have 6 on the book already for January. So those are solidified moves for January.
Yeah.
Working on a lot, I think, and I'd have to I went and did my thing. I think I'm at 16 for December. So
nice. Awesome, girl. Awesome.
Between the two.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about that business real quick before she gets into the whole trying something new thing, click the link down below. You can schedule a consultation call with us, learn about the Senior Placement Institute. Man, we're rocking and rolling. We came out in the Senior Placement Institute just this past 2024. It's really weird to say just past year, right? But 2024, and now is embarking upon a new day in 2025 with several hundred students across the country in 35 different states. So if you want to learn about more, you can do that. Watch a free webinar, all that stuff. Anyway, let's get back to it. So try something new, the benefits of doing that, Brittany.
Yeah, general, just going out of your comfort zone. You can find something that you really like, really enjoy that you never would have thought. Like your dad, he might really enjoy the computer if he was able to adapt that. But I'll give a little story. I have a guy, an individual, he had a stroke, was very independent prior to that stroke. Unfortunately, it really has changed his quality of life as far as physically. He's still in rehab, but he was so against bingo. He was like, he's 87, but you would think he's 70. He said, I am not doing bingo. I'm not doing it. Well, at the rehab, they started introducing him to bingo. And now he's calling the bingo, which is really good for him. He's super involved in it. So bingo is not a great example, but it's to the point where he was like, absolutely not. I'll hate it. And now he can't wait to move to assisted living and participate in their bingo with 200 people. So nice. Little things that it actually gave him, purpose. He's calling bingo there. He just had a stroke. It's giving him something to do. Same thing with trying something new could give you purpose. I know if you're in a community, or even if you're not, if you're in your general community, you can become a leader. Even if you wanted to, you could become if you weren't into reading before, maybe you start a book club if you like it. So there's so many opportunities if you do try something new, but most seniors aren't open to it. And it takes a lot of push to get them to try something new. But once they do, I feel like a lot of them really do enjoy it. So I think it's very beneficial, but it's getting them over that hump to try something new. No different than probably us. They're just a little bit more stuck in their normal routines.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the next couple. I'm going to run through the next two pretty quickly. So I want to get down to number 10 before I lose my audience, because, man, number 10, you got to stay with me, guys. Number 10 is off the chart, especially for elderly people. So I can instill this in my own mom and dad and others that I have influence over or with and talk with on a consistent basis. Man, it would just warm my heart. So let's get to number 5 is focus on mental wellness. I think that's so important, you guys. You got to do that. Number 6, schedule regular health checkups. It goes without saying. Man, I'm bad with that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I got a good wife, Brittany. My wife keeps me in check, pun intended, that, I need to get this and get that. But, man, if it wasn't for her, if I was living alone, I don't know if I'd probably forget about all that stuff and just kind of keep going through life without it. So thank God for Josie out there telling me to do all that stuff. Okay, number 7, volunteer and give back. We saw a video. I don't know if we did this on the live or I did this just on the video myself. I showed a video of these seniors actually giving back to the community, and they volunteered and they raised like $5,000. I think I just did it by myself, I believe. But do you remember that video at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, I did it by myself. Anyway, just a bunch of seniors are giving back their time. They raised $5,000 in the community for presents. People, the elderly, were just like, hey, it's our opportunity. We really enjoy giving back. There's joy in doing this. It's just elderly people, or at least people have a perception of the elderly as like, okay, you're at the end of your life. Everybody needs to take care of you. And there's a certain level, an element of truth to that, right? People take care of them. It's kind of like the cycle of life. I mean, we're a little kid. Everybody takes, parents take care of us. And later on in life, the kids take care of the parents. But it's some kind of just something that happens internally in a senior or anybody when they're giving to others. And so if they have an opportunity to volunteer or give back, I mean, Brittany, what are some ways that a senior can do that? Now, again, I know there's a lot of things involved in this. I mean, obviously they need to be ambulatory, cognitive, there's a lot of things that go on. Let's just say the person's able to do certain things. What are some just simple things that a senior can do to give back to their community?
I've heard a couple cool things. Crocheting, if they're a crocheter, crocheting blankets for the humane societies. That's been a really cool one that I saw seniors doing. Also, your Walmart bags, or like your plastic bags from the grocery store. I've seen them tie them together to make shelters for the homeless. So I've seen that. I've seen also growing like vegetables, giving to the food pantry. So I've seen really unique ways to give back where it doesn't like cost a lot of money, or it's not, you don't have to be like out all day doing this volunteer
Right.
work. They can do it at home in their home if they love crocheting or doing these things. I've also seen really cool ways that they like write cards. So there's a domestic violence shelter in St. Louis, and all of the seniors wrote cards to the women, which I thought was really neat.
Nice,
So
nice.
just ways to it didn't take a lot, but it was just really unique ways to give back.
That's good. That's good. And then number 8, declutter and simplify. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Really tough for seniors, the declutter.
It is. It is. There's certain things, even in my own life, that I've got attached to. Like, I'm a North Carolina freak. I say that because I'm looking at all my North Carolina stuff over there in the corner of my office. And there's certain things, like I've got a bottle when North Carolina won the 1982 national championship. It's a Coca-Cola bottle, still got Coke in it, and I still got a thing on my shelf. That's probably one thing I'll never throw away. Now, what does that do? I mean, does it do anything for me? No, I just like it, whatever. My mom is the same way. My mom's got a lot of things that she just, a lot of things she doesn't want to part with. So we got to do that. Got to help the senior to declutter and simplify. I think it goes without saying, but it's a much more difficult job to do than what meets the eye, right? I mean, it's going to be challenging, and be patient. I would say, don't go in and say, "Hey, we're throwing everything away. You don't need this stuff." Don't do that. Just gradually, slowly have conversations with them about certain things, and then hopefully they'll be able to release certain things and declutter, and their life is going to be a lot more organized, a lot better. So speaking of the organization part of it, I want to show that calendar, Brittany, that we got going on, the Senior Placement Institute. So let me see if I can share my screen here. I really want to share this with you guys here. So if we got this thing here, so in the school platform, see Senior Home Business there, you guys. I want to show you, we've got all the courses: Senior Placement Institute, Roundtable, monthly workshops, Senior Referral Academy, Senior Living questions, all this kind of stuff, leads on demand, basics. But the calendar I want to show you, look at this next week, you guys. Brittany's doing a whole thing with the basics. Now, the basics is on Monday, and that is a group of individuals, people signed up in the Senior Placement Institute that have not been in business longer than 90 days. So they just started, right? And so the advantage of that group there is a small group, and you're able to come and ask very specific questions about this business, and Brittany will help you out through that kind of deal. The Tuesday next week is cold calling. Now you're like, my gosh, I got to come to a meeting, cold call. It's something about being with others, right? I mean, there's an accountability, encouragement. You'll pick up different things that people will say, especially Brittany. I mean, Brittany's been doing this for years, very successful in doing it. You want to pick up some things, and it's not you're able necessarily to memorize all what she says. I kind of equate it back in the day, Brittany. I used to go to these conferences all the time, and I go to some every now and then now, but I used to go to all the time, and I would spend a lot of money, and it was never like I learned everything that was taught that was new, but it's always like a couple gold nuggets that I just walked away with going, man, it revolutionized my own personal life and my business. So I really enjoyed that. But then you get into the Wednesday live here, and then cold calling again on a round table, and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just want to show you that, for our audience today, to kind of let you know that we have a community. It's a community, Brittany, that I'm really thankful for. I've developed over time. A lot of my students have become friends of mine. I mean, I think of you, right? In 2019. That's okay. We all got dogs and kids. Don't worry about it. Brittany's got a couple pups. I got a couple pups. It's family, right? So we both got family businesses, and puppies are part of the family, right?
Yeah, you should have heard them last night with the fireworks. That was fun. They were
man. So it's this but we really enjoy it. Like I met Brittany online in 2019, and she signed up what was known as the Senior Referral Academy at the time. And you fast forward now to 2025. Now she's our senior placement specialist. She's still got her agencies, obviously. She's still doing placement, killing it in Texas and Missouri. But I now has gone from being acquainted with Brittany online to being friends with Brittany. And I don't think she would, think too badly of me saying this, but I do. I view Brittany like a daughter. I love her to pieces. in the most pure way, and she's wonderful. So, and that's over a short period of time, but a lot of our students, Brittany, are engaging in conversation, not only just online, but I think some of them, if I don't know how many, but some of them have got like in these group texts and different things, and they encourage each other that way. So it's the power behind a community that you need. And sometimes, and all these things cost, you guys understand that. I mean, we have financing and, available to make it affordable and all that stuff, but it's challenging because what happens is people are like, what do I have to give up to get something? And try not to think of that in this new year of what you have to give up to get something. Think in terms of what something's worth. Is it worth it to me? If it's not worth it to you, don't do it. Like if you're talking to me or you're considering a senior placement institute and this is something that doesn't resonate with you, something you never see yourself doing, you just don't want to do it, you want to do something else, then don't do it. I mean, don't ever feel pressure to do something. But man, if something you really want to do, go do it. Life is just too short. I have got a number of goals I won't share on this channel today. I'll probably be sharing later on down the road, but of all things that we're going to accomplish in 2025. And it's things that we are going to accomplish. And if you didn't pick up that pro statement right there, you have to do that. Did you notice I didn't say things I want to accomplish? It's things that we are going to accomplish. Matter of fact, I say it so much now, just in the last few hours, that it's almost as I've already done it. And if you've already done it, your faith is unwavering. It's already there, and you're just going to manifest it. Anyway, that's a whole nother teaching, but I don't know how we got talking about from going to declutter to school to manifestation. But Brittany, that's kind of what we do on this channel sometimes, right? It just kind of happens. But let's get into number 9. So I'm gonna get number 10 pretty soon, because number 10 is juicy. But hit number 9, Brittany. Stay mentally sharp. What are some things that seniors can do to stay mentally sharp?
Comes kind of down to the activities, stimulating your brain. If it's a word search, if it's whatever that one that everybody plays. But anyway, rubbing cards, anything to keep. I think you can make it fun too. Reading, if you can still read with your eyesight. Listening to music actually can keep you mentally sharp. So basically, just anything that keeps your mind stimulated. Not necessarily the TV all day, every day, sitting in a recliner in front of the TV. If you do that, maybe try History Channel. It's just stuff to really keep your mind sharp. I think from the studies that I've seen and like being a certified dementia practitioner, a lot of it is just no different than your physical. It's using your brain. If you sit in front of if you go make your coffee and your oatmeal every day, go to your recliner, sit there for 9.5 hours, then go to bed, your brain's not really being stimulated, and that's not great. So just what I've seen and from studies is just continually stimulating your brain and in fun ways too. It can be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get to number 10. Can we get number 10 real quick? The last one. This is my most favorite one right here, you guys. I'm telling you, we need to encourage each and every senior to do this and encourage people like myself that are in 50s and 60s possibly to be starting this right here, because this is such a great thing. If you want to be an influencer, not only of just people in general, but be an influencer of your family, right? And your friends and things like that, but create a legacy plan. Oh man. I mean, in terms of just, personal stories. My mom has these photo albums, right? I mean, tons of them. I mean, that's just what they did back in the day, right? The Polaroid shot. And it's like all in the photo albums, right? And in essence, there was a legacy that she was kind of leaving behind in terms of, I can go back to those photo albums, literally. Most of them are like in chronological order, because she would just take pictures, put it in there, put a little caption right in there. Matt's first home run. Matt did this, or we as a family, blah, blah, blah. And you just go through, it's like leaving a legacy. So I can really go tell my family history in terms of, me being born and all throughout, by just looking at those photo albums. And I think it'd be so cool for seniors to be encouraged to do this, because I think a lot of them would love to do this. And siblings could come together, and the sons and daughters go to their moms and dads and help them with this. And it could be something you could participate with, right? You could buy the supplies for them. You can help organize for them. But then what's going to help is, here comes that story. They're going to reminisce, right? They're going to see this picture of so-and-so and start telling a story. And I would encourage the son and daughter or a family member to write some of that stuff down and maybe put that along with the picture and allow the senior to tell the story. I don't know. What do you think? I get clear with that one, man. Legacy plan.
So I love that. Yeah, that's a cool idea. I think it's, like you said, a family event too. So neat.
Happy New Year, Moni. And Frank, I didn't say anything to you, man, but let's roll, buddy. I appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much, you guys. Well, anyway, hey, thank you so much for being with us today, celebrating. I know it's a New Year's Day, and I know it's a day of maybe people recovering from what all happened last night. But my wife and I, we went to bed late last night. We went to bed about 10 o'clock. Isn't that crazy? We go to bed early. I
fell asleep at around 10:30 on the couch, and then I woke back up. My parents called me from St. Louis. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know if you caught it on social media, but when my wife and I just went to Vegas,
and
spent a couple of days there, and I think we're probably the only couple on the planet Earth that goes to Vegas, and we're in bed by 9.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already 8:30 heading up to the room. We're getting things situated. Now we're watching TV, and one night we had like a little dessert, but it's just, we're already kind of like getting comfortable and getting in bed. And I'm looking out the window and I'm seeing, man, the city just going crazy, boy. They're like, so, but anyway, so I do appreciate you guys being with us today, the audience out there, and hanging tight with us. But if you don't know more about this business, you can always reach out to us. And we just love seniors. We love you. We just want this world to be better. And we believe that we can make a difference. And if you really want to be involved in something to make a difference in the lives of not only people individually, but collectively as your community, then you can reach out to us. We'd love to help you out. So until next time, God bless.